Everybody, I'm back. This is Ambika Warrior here, a career counselor, parenting expert, counseling psychologist, working with adolescents and adults alike, using various modalities to help them in therapies. Today I thought, why don't I broach upon the topic of helping students prepare for their exams? I'm not trying to say that your exams are coming or they are around the corner. It is just that this year has been different. 2020, starting March, at least in India, things have been quite different because we went into something called a lockdown. Although I would not like to call this period as a lockdown because that is something makes me feel quite heavy, the word lockdown. I would just like to say that we all have been trying to be careful with ourselves and hence trying to help others. We're just trying to stay safe and remain safe. So with this happening, suddenly the entire real world moved to virtual world. Whether you liked it or did not like it, everybody alike had to get glued to the online system. You had to take your online classes as children. Teachers had to give online classes. And me as a counselor and a therapist, I am taking counseling online as well. So there is a huge lot of difference between a real world and a virtual world, which I'm sure each one of us understand now. Yes, there are uncertainties in life and we need to go by it. So the mantra right now for each one of us, and probably this will go for a long time, and it is adapt, adopt, overcome with flexibility. So having said this, had your schools reopened in time, the schools would have reopened somewhere around July, maybe mid-June to mid-July, all the schools would have reopened in India, which means it was time for everybody, be it the school management, teachers or the students and the parents, it was time to start thinking about the first half-yearly exams, which normally comes up around August-September time frame. This time it could be different. It all depends upon when the schools would reopen. And the mode of examination also could be different. We just have no idea yet till the government makes any kind of an announcement. But students, we still need to prepare. And especially classes like 9th, 10th and 12th are crucial years for each of us. 9th prepares us for 10th, and in 10th we have a board exam, which will help us in selecting the stream depending upon the marks you may get in 9th. So I'm here today to give you some simple tips so that you can explore it by yourself. Few simple basic tips that will help you plan your entire day, so that when your final exams come, irrespective of your classes being online or offline, you being at home and doing a home schooling, or you going to school and being in the real classroom, it really would not matter to you by the time your final exams arrive. I would like to tell you a small little story here. It's about a sparrow and a fox. So there was this beautiful little sparrow living on a tree. Every day morning she would wake up, early morning she would wake up, very chirpy, she would freshen up and go to the fields nearby, eat to her stomach's full, collect some grains, and by evening she would return. And she would come back home, have her dinner, go back to sleep. So this would continue, and the bird was absolutely hale and hearty, healthy. She had the perfect body size. She was chirpy, happy, doing whatever she wished, and she knew how to prioritize things in her life, because that's what comes to all of us naturally, unless there is a blockage. So after a few days, after a few months, there was this fox who came to the tree, and from down he called out to the sparrow. He said, "Little sparrow." And the sparrow kind of peeped out. So she was apprehensive. She did not want to come out. So the fox said, "Little sparrow, can you please come out?" So now many thoughts ran through the sparrow's mind, looking at the fox. So then finally the sparrow asked, "Yes, what is it?" He said, "Can you please come down?" So again, with a lot of apprehension, the sparrow hopped and kind of semi flew down to the ground. and there she sees a small little bowl full of worms for her. And the fox says, "See, here is a bowl full of worms for you. I would like to be friends with you." The sparrow wasn't too sure, and she said, "No, I would not like to take this favor from you since we do not know each other yet." So he thinks for a long time, the fox thinks for a long time, and he says, in a little shy way, in an awkward way, he says, "Honestly speaking, I have a selfish motive. I want a feather from your wings. So can you please give it to me?" Now the sparrow starts thinking. The sparrow says, "I guess that sounds like a fair deal. You may have a feather, and then I'm fine with taking the bowl of worms." So she keeps a feather from the wings, and she happily takes the bowl of worms and flies back to her nest, and she starts eating to her heart's content. And this day she does not go to the fields because her stomach is full. Now after a few days, the fox comes back again with another bowl full of worms for her and requests for another feather from the sparrow. And this continues, and the sparrow and the fox become friends. And slowly this becomes a daily routine. And now the sparrow did not have to go out to the fields at all to get grains for herself. She grew happy, she grew comfortable, she also grew a little lazy. She did not have to come out of the nest except for to pick up that bowl full of worms. And finally one day came when the sparrow came down and the fox requested for another feather. And the sparrow kind of looked behind like this to pick up a feather from her wings, and she realized there were no feathers left. And by the time she realized, the fox pounced on her and ate her up. So children, what is it that you figure out from the story? There is more than one thing that you can figure out from the story. However, here I would like to tell you a couple of things since I'm not interacting with you face to face. One is, somewhere her inner feeling gave an apprehension whether to go by what the fox is telling or not. And the second one was, if you look at the bowl of worms as distractions and the feather as the time you have, every time you are distracted, you are losing your time. So if we try to connect these two, when you have apprehensions, always try to think about what is going on in your mind, because it is very important that you listen to your inner self. So if you have apprehension, that means somewhere deep inside you, you are aware that what is happening is not the way it should happen. Now, since I have given you this small little story, let me give you a few pointers, and I would like for each one of you to think according to your own perspectives. So the first one would be, dear children, have a schedule. Remember, I'm telling, have a schedule, not a timetable. So schedule could be, you have planned your day in a particular way and you're doing a perfect mix and match of things which are academic and non-academic. There is nobody on the face of this earth who can just sit and study for the entire day, because your brain needs a break at times. So please have a schedule which you can use, not an idealistic schedule. If you find it difficult, please discuss it with somebody who is a little more experienced than you. And this schedule would be your personal schedule. From schedule, let's go to managing your time. Time management is a very important life skill, and it's not only for this time period of your life, this is for your entire life. Learn to manage your time. See to it that you wake up at a particular time every morning, and then you carry on your daily routine in a particular way, which means you're disciplined. Again, from your schedule, intermingle academic and non-academic activities in the right proportion. So when you prioritize your time, when you manage your time, you would understand how important it is to take breaks at frequent intervals. As I said, none of us can do the same activity continuously for the entire day. So when you sit to study, please choose a place where you sit straight, where you do not have to slouch. And try and use the same area every day, every time you sit to study. Because slowly, when your body gets used to that area, it's a message that you're sending to your brain that, okay, now I have to sit and study. Do what is important for me. Take a break of maximum 10 minutes every 1 hour to 1.5 hours. And during these 10 minutes, get yourself some water, keep yourself hydrated. Move around in the house, have a small little chit chat with people at home. This will break that monotonous feeling you may have in you while studying. The next one would be healthy food habits. No, I'm not asking you to eat sprouts, not at all. Just eat healthy, which means try to avoid ready-made food, try and avoid food with a lot of preservatives, avoid food with a lot of carbohydrates, because these are all things that takes a toll on your digestive system, and then eventually it makes you feel lazy, lethargic and sleepy. That is the last thing you want, right? Especially when you have beautiful dreams for yourselves and when you have set goals for yourselves. So ensure your body is fit, and when you eat healthy food, it keeps your body light. When your body is light, your brain is active. So to have this healthy food regime, ensure you add seasonal fruits and vegetables into your food, and your mother would know it the best. So just let her know about this. After food, the next important thing, of course, is sleep. No, not during the afternoon. I'm talking about sleeping at night. So sleeping at night is absolutely important. It is a must and without a question. Go to sleep latest by 10 or 10:30 at night. Your brain needs rest, because that is the time when your brain assimilates everything that happened during the day. It keeps all the important aspects and it lets go of the ones that are not so important. Your organs, your body, your limbs, your eyes, your ears, everything needs rest. So ensure you get a sleep of about 7 to 8 hours every night. So if you start this habit right now, you will not have to worry when you're closer to your exams. And now, ensure when you sit to study, start from the easy subjects for you and easy chapters within the subject, because it gives you a sense of confidence and achievement. And when you have the sense of confidence and achievement, it becomes easier for you to delve into the more difficult chapters. So go from easy to difficult, because you have quite a few months to go for the final exam. Right now, take it in small bits and pieces and chunks, and then your life will be easy. And last but not the least, spend time with your family. When I say spend time with your family, I mean to say not with your mobile. Keep your mobile aside. And also eat at least one meal in a day with your family, again without the mobile on the table. So do these things, and please understand that there is no problem without a solution. It is just that we all together need to look for a solution, and we can do this together. So think how you could use all these tips in your life in your own way. Each of these tips would work in a different way for each of you all. So my best wishes for you all to start preparing for your beautiful dreams and goals ahead. Stay home, stay healthy, stay safe, and have fun.